interesting thing is my grandfather, he was a tailor, and I'm named after him. And it was like, I didn't even I wasn't planning on doing that.
Good morning, Glendora. My name is Taylor Garcia, your host, and today I'm really excited to have this conversation. I have Gregory here with Boys Cleaners East, and I'm really excited because we've been going to them. My whole family's been going to Boys Cleaners, and I'm really excited to have this conversation and have them on the show. Gregory, thanks for coming on and being here.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Your company, how long you've been here, and just kind of share with us a little bit.
Well, I grew up in Diamond Bar, so, not too far away.
Yeah.
And we would always come to Glendora, just actually to the Starbucks sometimes with my mother and stuff like that. And I never really saw my cleaners next door. So who's to know that years later I'm going to be owning it and, running it for about 8 years. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And what is some of the history behind the cleaners? Was this a family-owned company? Was this something that you started? Share a little bit about that.
I didn't start it.
Sure.
It was opened in 1985.
Okay.
So, I think I'm the third owner, or maybe possibly the fourth.
Gotcha.
The first two owners, don't know exactly who they were, but the previous owner was it's a family friend of ours.
I see.
So he owned it for 20-something, 23 or 20,
wow.
Around there.
Okay.
And I was going to college,
yeah.
Doing that thing, and around the age of 22, my brother goes, "Hey, there's this dry cleaners for sale in Glendora," and I was like, man, sounds cool, let's do it, and he was close to graduating.
Okay.
So he was still going to school and back and forth, and he was like, "You got to run that shop while I'm in class," and one thing led to another, and now we own a dry cleaner.
Here you are.
It's crazy.
That's awesome. So it's you and your brother who, or
up to about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my brother, he got a little tired of it. He was doing it previous. He was doing it previously, so
very
he
cool.
He left it to me,
Awesome.
which was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
No, and I think from my experience here, like I said, my whole family comes here, and it was just one of those things where it's like, well, this is where I go, and it's been a really great.
I feel like a lot of people feel like it's a community place to go. I feel like I hear it sometimes too. They have pictures of a marching band from Glendora, the Glendora High School marching band.
Right.
And I have pictures up on the wall from even 20 years ago, and they're like, "That's me," and they have kids now, and their kids are in it, so it's so interesting.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. It's like a community. It feels like a community store.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So I wanted to talk about kind of where we are now, because we're not in the actual cleaners where you go and drop off your clothes, right?
Yeah.
Share a little bit about this place we're in and what's coming here.
So this is my new project.
Yeah.
It kind of started from next door. I have a lot of law enforcement and first responder customers that have told me, "Hey, you started doing your tailoring and this and that, and over the time you've learned the specs of how our uniforms should look."
Right.
So over time, we had a haircut place next door to us, and they were telling me, we were very close. We became like family too. And she goes, "Hey,
Sure.
we're going to a smaller spot." So
okay.
I was like, you know what? This is my chance. I got to jump in. I wasn't ready. It was like now or never, you know?
Yeah.
And, the cleaners is a handful to run, so being next door kind of helps the whole situation.
So you're not bouncing back.
I'm not bouncing back and forth, have to drive if there's an issue, or, I can just walk here, help a customer, or answer a phone call. So
that's cool.
So, so it was... I leased this place without an idea of what I was going to do.
Sure.
I was like, I'll figure something out.
But you knew that there was opportunity.
There was an opportunity. I have an idea of something. And
it
just clicked one day, and I was like, I'm going to open up a uniform store. These people keep telling me that I know what I'm doing, with the uniforms, and they like my turnaround time on stuff like that. So it was just like, I'm going to take the chance. Got to jump in,
Yeah.
You don't take a risk. You don't get a reward.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and were you doing uniforms prior to this? Were you doing uniforms over when you just had the dry cleaners?
The dry cleaners, yeah. So a lot of the uniforms are 100% wool, and they need to look sharp. So we do the military creases next door.
Okay.
And in the past 8 years, I haven't raised the price on the law enforcement uniforms just to support our, first responders and all
Yeah.
that. So
How cool.
it's kind of like hand in hand worked
Sure.
out,
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. It was like I started getting the clientele, and then little by little they would help me
Yeah.
with tips here and there, and
Sure.
as I learned what is a Class A uniform, a Class B uniform, on and on. So
Yeah.
I feel like I had a little cheat code to get in with the
Yeah.
educated part. Some people come in and they're like, you know a lot about this. I was like, well, I've been cleaning them for 8 years.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just,
It kind of natural,
it happened. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a natural occurrence. It just
Yeah,
happened.
and it's
So
like a transition from that to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really
So
cool.
yeah, I almost everything in here was on the fly. It felt like, and everybody
Sure.
loves it so far. Whether it was how I was going to do the shelving, whether it was the name of the business, which is code 4. It's like the all clear sign for the law enforcement. That's what it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
code 4.
I didn't
So
think
all
of that,
clear.
yeah.
So.
Awesome.
It was a natural. It came naturally, which feels pretty cool.
Right. So I've always gone to your cleaners just obviously to do the basic dry cleaning and stuff. Can you share, so if somebody's kind of coming new to the town or they're not sure kind of where to go, what are like your most common services? Obviously you got dry cleaning.
Dry cleaning.
Are there anything else in there that somebody may not know about or things that you do that regularly that,
So during COVID, everything slowed down, the world stopped, and
Right.
I had spare time on my hands. So I learned how to do tailoring and sewing. And,
Okay.
which has transformed the whole business. This place was born because of it. I was able to get employees because of it, and on and on.
Okay.
So I built a team, and the interesting thing is my grandfather, he was a tailor, and I'm named
Really?
after him. And it was like, I didn't even I
Wow.
wasn't planning on doing that. And my grandmother on my father's side
Yeah.
was also a seamstress, back in Germany.
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy. During the war, she was making the coats for the soldiers. It's like,
How cool.
yeah. So,
So you got
it might
history
it might
in
be
it.
in the blood.
Yeah.
Some people ask, how did you learn this? I was like,
Right.
I don't know.
But it just kinda-
it just naturally happened, and
Yeah.
it's I take like pride in my craft and the work. I won't do something if I don't feel like it's right.
see.
I'll give my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
That's
I
cool.
don't know,
So you
yeah.
do the
I do
tailoring,
the tailoring, yeah.
the cleaning, and do it all. That's cool. Did you go to like classes for tailoring and stuff? You kind of just learned on your own, self-taught?
If I was sitting here at 10 p.m. Sweating it off, I would just go to YouTube and just sit there and just try to
Yeah.
learn it, or in bed, just sitting
Sure.
there like, how am I gonna do this? I have to figure it
Wow.
out. It's due tomorrow. They have a wedding. What are you gonna do? You can't mess it up, So
Yeah.
that pressure was there, and
Wow.
it's every single time that needle would go up and down, I would like slowly go, so I wouldn't make sure that I would not make a mistake,
Wow.
So
That just shows like the passion you have for it. Because I think if you didn't have that,
yeah,
you wouldn't be here till 10 working, trying to
yeah,
learn.
it's a pride thing. I felt
Yeah.
like, I felt like I was like, if anybody else can do this, I can do this too. Like,
Sure.
why can't I do it?
Right.
Prior to owning the cleaners, actually, I worked with my father, who's made teeth. We were dental technicians, so that craft and that hand coordination, or the creativity portion
Yeah.
of that sewing kind of. It itched that itch that I was missing from working with my dad, So
Right.
it was. I still enjoyed that work, but it was time to step away from working with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off on your own. kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my own thing now.
Yeah.
So
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you have this is kind of like a segue a little bit. Prior to this, what was your history like? Were you in business early on, or was this kind of like your first like business venture? I like to talk to people that are owning businesses because I'm kind of like-minded like that. Like I like to start new things or start new
Yeah, of course.
ventures and stuff. Was that something that you kind of always saw yourself doing, or was it something that you kind of like all of a sudden the cleaners that opportunity came up and you kind of fell into it?
So I feel like in order to work 12 hours a day, you have to have some sort of fire under you, or you got to be
Right.
hungry, right? So,
Yeah.
Working with my dad, I felt like I was almost limited. It feels like it was a stepping stone to learning how to be dedicated to doing a good job on
Yeah.
whatever you need to do. So
Right.
I, with my buddies, we'd always try to think of things, an invention, or like, we're always like, man, we're going to figure something out, what are we going to do? And some ideas were,
Sure.
other ones were cool, or,
Yeah.
and always being a car guy, me and my buddy, we would like try to go find like popular wheels that people like for their car and stuff like that. And we would try to go buy a set from, you know, whether it's a wrecking yard or this and that, and clean them up and make a few $100 on it so we can go out for dinner or, you know, have a drink. So yeah, we always tried to find something, or, you know,
cool.
always liked having a clean car, right?
Right.
So my brother and I would, you know, let's start cleaning our neighbors' cars. Let's start, you know, just try to find little jobs here and there just to make some pocket money. You know?
Sure.
Being a little younger, $50 here and there was the world, you know.
Right.
Like, cool, I could go out this weekend. We could have whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, you know, it was always a hustle. It felt like.
Yeah.
You know, so it feels natural in here, just like a good time almost, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a common reoccurring story, like something like that. Because I was very similar, like when early on, it was like I found those little one-off things. Oh, I started to do car washes in my neighborhood. I started to like, you know.
Yeah.
I was like buying garage sale stuff and reselling it for some of that. Like just like you said, like $20, $50. I was like, hey, like, heck
There we
I
go,
get to go buy lunch or something, you know. So no, that's really cool. Okay, so as we wrap this up, I just kind of want to give you the spotlight for a minute. Like if there's anything going on right now that you want to kind of share, because again, I'm trying to keep this to our community, because Glendora is really good from what I've found. I'm born and raised here, but they're really good at like propping up businesses that like help the community, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of like to support each other.
Keep it tight knit.
Yeah, you know, like I'm guilty of it, you know.
Coming from Diamond Bar, which I'm not bashing. I love my city. It's the one that raised me, you know. I love that place, you know.
Yeah.
But it was almost like a culture shock coming to Glendora and learning that everybody almost knows each other.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you know, they've accepted me. It feels like I feel like they brought me. You know, I'm the guy at the cleaners, the guy at the cleaners, the guy at the cleaners. So you know, coming from Diamond Bar, I felt like it was everybody shut their windows, stayed inside, and you know, after 8 p.m. you can't grab food. You know, you gotta go to McDonald's. That's the only place you got. Good for you. You know, so I love my city. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was almost like a culture shock of how everybody knew each other, and I was like, you know, it kind of put pressure on me because I felt like if I made a mistake, a lot of people might know about this mistake. You know, it was like it became a thing. I was like, okay,
that's true.
This is like, you know, and I feel like that's what keeps Glendora charming. Because
I agree.
You know, I went to the Christmas parade for this for the first time. You know, I've been here for 8 years, and I'm like, I always hear people coming in on that. I believe it's a Saturday, and oh yeah, we were just at the parade. I feel like, you know, Clark Jackson, he's coming. Yeah, I just came from the parade, man. You know, I'm like,
he was
parade,
driving
parade.
in it.
Yes. You know,
Right.
I just got my car cleaned up, drove through it. You know, Santa Claus was in my car. You know,
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Why did I miss this? You know, on and on, and
For sure.
You know, just. You know, downtown Glendora being there, and you know, being able to go grab dinner there after work, and seeing people you just helped, and you know, you just cheers them with a beer, and they're like, man, you know,
it is
so cool having you around. It's such a little like niche community that's like no other, you know.
Right.
I feel like there's like tradition in the city, which I love, you know.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing place. I mean,
yeah.
my brother actually just bought a house here because we love
really?
the city so much. You know, we're like, we have to live in Glendora. We have to live in Glendora.
Cool.
So it's a dream of mine. He's living that dream right now.
So he made it first, huh?
Yeah. So
no, that's cool.
Yeah. It's just an unbelievable place.
It is, you know, and like I love that you said that about like a mistake, because I've thought that too. Like in our business, it was like, man, if something happens negatively like that can spread. But it also could be the other way too.
A great way, exactly.
You know, so when you do a good job on something, you know, like for me, like when I met Clark, it was like, hey, I need to drive here, go here. Like it wasn't so much of like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I have this guy, he's super great, you know, and it's like no matter what services you have or offer, you know, it's like you need a financial guy. Oh, you got this guy in town, and it's always like that one guy or the.
We all know somebody,
you know,
and they're always the best, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, was just to kind of show the community, like maybe some of these businesses that maybe they don't know about, or we're just these small businesses that don't have the marketing budgets or whatever to get out there. You know, yeah, most of us know about the places in town just from living here. Yeah. But I just kind of wanted to shine a light on some of these guys and some of these businesses.
Really appreciate what you're doing. I love it. When you brought the idea to me, I was like, man, this guy's a genius, man. Good job. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
And then when you were sharing about the uniform thing coming about, I was like, man, this is perfect timing.
It was, you know, honestly, it was unbelievable. The universe works in mysterious ways, right? I was like, man, it's so, you know, a brand new store, and
all of a sudden
now we're getting some PR on it. So
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, that's great. Oh man, I've really enjoyed this conversation, Greg. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah,
it.
and so like I said, just to kind of wrap it up, was there anything else that maybe that's coming up or any services that you want to shine a light on that you're like, hey, come on by because we're doing this thing? Because I just want, if there's anything that's coming up or anything that you want to throw out there, or how people can reach you too, because I want everyone to know how to easily reach you other than just obviously walking in.
Of course. I always have people actually the reaching out things. Lately people are you open on Sunday? Are you open on Sunday?
Yeah.
I need a rest day. I need a family day. And I'm like, hey, listen, sometimes I'll come in here just to sweep the floors or empty the trash on a Sunday. And if you message me on Instagram or anybody can reach me through my Instagrams. I have for Boys Cleaners East and for Code 4 uniforms.
Awesome.
If I'm there, if I'm around, I'll probably stop by just to check the store out, help you out, and this and that. But other than that, I was thinking of maybe doing some specials at the dry cleaners for the grand opening of this place. Have both of them come together and support one another, lift each other up. So I might be, throwing some specials out over there as well as
sweet.
At the new
do you have a idea of when that grand opening would be, or not yet?
I'm hoping in a few months.
Okay.
I'm thinking of something maybe big. I don't know. I'm thinking of doing.
Well, you got to let me know, and I'll definitely spread the word there.
Definitely, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, again, I just wanted to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching and listening and following Gregory's story. If you guys have any needs for tailoring, dry cleaning, I promise you, you would not be disappointed. Everything that he's done for us, my whole family, always done a great job. They're quick, they're easy, they're responsive. And you have been always accommodating. Hey, do you need this quicker? I can put a rush on it, or do you need me to? You want to drop it off down the street?
I'll drop it off. Let me know. I'll come drop it off. No problem.
Some of those things that just it shows that you're kind of going up and above what others may do. So. Again, appreciate having you on, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.